Hey guys, Chris the Bye Guy here. Here I am with the Superfly. And, oh gosh. Let me clean the lens. It's a lot better. And here I am with the Superfly. This is my first impressions of it. I've had it for a little while. I've probably had it for like a couple weeks now. And it's been really good, honestly. Yeah. First, let's start about the oh my goodness. Let's start by talking about the construction. This is a 410 stainless steel blade and titanium handles that are all CNC'd machined on bushings, hidden Zen pins, and it has optional spacers in the back. It comes with these 4, but you can take them out. I've tried it with just the 2 that are right here, like, on this handle and this handle, the spacer, and I really liked it the way it flipped that way, and I'm trying it this way, and I really like it that way. I don't know which I like more, but you have the option to choose how you want to flip. Some people I know like a little bit of handle differentiation, so maybe you'll put one spacer further in and one further out. Those spacers change the way it feels overall somewhat significantly, in my opinion. The having the spacers, having the weights that are further in only, I feel like gives it a much more neutral feel, but still with some rear bias. And I feel like if you had just the rearmost spacers, I'm not sure how that would flip. I haven't tried it like that yet, but I feel like it would be good. At the end of the day, flipping is a very, very personal thing. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some aluminum spacers, and it'll be a really neutral balisong if you just have all aluminum spacers or titanium spacers. As far as flippability goes, this thing is probably one of the better flippers I've flipped in my life. The thing I like about this trainer is that it more closely mimics the dimensions of most actual balisongs. You have the choice to the BBSuperfly Pro or the Firefly. Those have larger handles. The Firefly has almost like it has handles that are a little bit larger than Squid's handles, but they're solid aluminum. It's all about what you like and what you prefer to flip. A lot of people swear by aluminum, and they say that they love it. I'm more of a tie guy myself. I prefer titanium. And this is probably my favorite Bally that he sent out to me. The tolerances are really good. Barely any play. There's no tap. It's a very well-tuned machine. And from what I can tell, everyone should get extra hardware. I don't know if that's just mine, but yeah. The other thing that I really, really like about BBSuperflies and like this, like the Firefly and the Superfly, is that BBSuperfly, before I even started buying stuff from him, he's been willing to work with people, not just me, but like he works with people, and if he ever had a problem with yours, I guarantee that he would be able to help. If you DM'd him on Instagram or sent him an email or something like that, I'm positive that he would help. And that's probably one of the most important parts of having a good balisong. It's just, it doesn't matter how good your knife is. If you have a problem with it, you got to be able to handle it. And if the company isn't going to handle it, then why are you flipping? Why are you flipping the knife? I mean, obviously some things you got to be able to fix yourself. I mean, you got to be able to tune your balisong. I don't think you should have to send your knife into the company just to have the darn pivot screws adjusted. These are center point. I don't know what the actual term for it is. So there are 2 screws on each side, and they screw into a sleeve in the internally threaded rod in the center. And from whenever he sends these out, they're already preset Loctite and all that. They're already thread locked. So really, I mean, like back in the early days of flipping, at least for me, like that just wasn't a thing that companies went through the effort of doing for their customers. Like they didn't pre-Loctite them, thread lock them, whatever you want to call it, and they didn't do it so well either. Like this thing out of the box was just ready to flip. Like let's go back to like the days of the Tachyon 2. Like the Tachyon 2 is one of the best regarded flippers from what I can tell, and at least in history. And to work on that thing was an absolute royal pain. You had to have they had the security torque bits set, security torque screws, which means that there was a center point that rose to the center of the screws, and you had to have a special tool that could avoid that actual like the nipple in the center of the screw is what people called it. Security torques are a pain, and on top of that, it didn't come Loctited, so good luck adjusting it unless you had the proper tools. Thankfully, when they sent out the Tachyon 3s, it came with an adjustment tool for their proprietary bits. And Microtech loves those proprietary bits because I guess of the aesthetic that it gives the knife. And to be fair, they're not bad fittings either. It's just that you won't have the tool unless you buy the knife with it, and it comes with it. So it's nice to be able to adjust anything you get. And if you ever want to adjust these, I've never had to, I've never tried to. You can just use a normal Torx bit. You can use the Benchmade Blue Box. Something that's nice to note about the like hardware kits like that with torque bits for adjusting torque screws is that you really want hardened steel for your hardened screws, because I cannot tell you how many times I've bent torque screwdrivers and bits and all that, and with the Benchmade one, they're really strong in comparison to what you normally buy. So for the price that it costs, at least from when I've previously bought one, I mean, they'll rust, but besides that, I mean, they're great. But back to the Superfly. This thing is just all of the great things that come with Balisongs, and it's all in one nice package, in my opinion. It comes in a nice little case you can carry it around in. These things are just so unreasonably affordable, it's incredible. Like, I cannot understand how someone in Canada can locally source materials and then make a product for it's like that is so cost effective. Like Benchmade selling the 85 right now. I don't think they make the 87 anymore, but it's basically the same knife with a different blade. They machine their handles, and they charge you out the rear for those things. Oh my goodness. And it costs a lot to machine them, but it is a more complex design. So what's nice about the Superfly, the handles at least, they're machined. They're very very tight tolerance handles. They're very pristine. Like they're such a good fit and finish on these things. That was one of the first things I noticed. The fit and finish is just so refined. And for tooling titanium, which is pretty difficult if you didn't know, tooling titanium is one of the more difficult metals to machine for sure. It's just such a good product, and the fact that it's affordable is just incredible. Like, I hate to pull the whole back in my day card, but like a Chimera was the best that I could afford for like $130, and for around the same price you can get this, and it's just so much more that you can flip. The 42 was investment cast titanium, and I love the 42. I love my 42. I love flipping my 42. I don't flip it a whole lot, but it's not the best flipper by any means. It's definitely not the best knife to flip. Well, do I like it a lot? Yeah. Is it a lot of fun to flip? Yeah. Is flipping literally only, like, is the whole point of flipping to have fun while doing it? Yeah. And that's why I like the 42, because I enjoy flipping it. But you can enjoy so much out of something like this. And, I mean, and in the same way the 42 is kind of like a vintage muscle car. I have a lot of fun flipping it, and it's just a really cool thing to flip. I like its quirks and features. But when it comes to pure performance, this is the way to go for the price, period. I know Squid makes some good stuff. I don't really care for aluminum that much. Squid makes some really good stuff. I cannot lie. I love his products, and they're great, and I recommend them. I mean, something to take away from all this is that if you have the budget and you can afford to have more than one, by all means. I mean, it's so much more fun to be able to swap over to a different Bally and just be able to enjoy the different ways that one flips. That's why people collect them. Not just because they're collectors and they want to protect them forever and just enjoy them like that forever, but I mean, having multiple Bally's to choose from is just nice. It's fun. But yeah, this is definitely one I'm so happy to have in my collection. It's just one of the best flippers probably available that I've ever tried, and it's just so affordable. So as far as a product rating goes, I'd probably give this thing a full rating, full like 5 stars, 10 out of 10. It's just there's nothing wrong with this knife whatsoever, and it comes in 3 different blade shapes. You can get the more traditional bottle opener style that he sells. You can get this one, or you can just get a straight trainer blade. And their motto is the coolest bottle openers in the world. I still stand by that. I think that there's not a cooler bottle opener you're going to have than this thing. I mean, especially if you got the skills to handle it. I mean, just pulling this thing out, cracking a beer or two. I mean, or whatever your preference is, a Dr. Pepper. But it's just, these things are so nice. I honestly am jealous of the people who are getting into flipping now and can do it so easily. Not like jealous in a bad way, but like, I just wish it could have been so easy back when I started like 10 years ago. It's just, yeah, I mean, I started on Legos and like $5 Amazon trainers that lasted a few months at most. But yeah, the fit and finish on this thing, the quality, the customer service, the balance, just the overall workability, and like everything combined just makes this fantastic. Like, you can have a great product, but if you don't got customer service that can help whenever it breaks or whenever you have a problem, or if you have a defective one somehow, it just makes it less of a product, in my opinion. And that's part of why this product is so good, because BBSuperfly bottle openers will, I honestly feel like they bend over backwards just to make sure things are right. Like, if for whatever reason yours had tap, I'm sure that he would either send you new hardware or let you return yours and get another one or something like that. I mean, obviously, it's better to not have defective products. And honestly, I've never really experienced a finished product from BBSuperfly ever have a problem. And it's just, there's so much pride taken into the work to make these Bally's. It's just incredible. Like, you can have a great product as well, and you can have great selling. But, like, this is just, like, this is the consequence of discipline and just honest care and just want to make a good product. Like Benchmade, I mean, I know they have good engineers and they have people that try a lot to make good Bally's, but I feel at the end of the day, Benchmade is a company and they make what they know people are going to buy. And I mean, they only sell one Balisong right now. That's the 85. Does that mean it even sells that great? I don't know. I feel like, honestly, Benchmade probably sells the 85 just to say that they sell a Balisong. People bought the 51 for years. Not so many bought the 6X series. I don't think that... I'm sure Benchmade has pride in their work. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think that any company will have the same amount of pride or should have the same amount of pride as BBSuperfly bottle openers for this. And I know I'm just talking at this point. I love talking about this. I love talking about the products of BBSuperfly. They never disappoint. These things are indestructible as well. I hate to do it, but this thing's going to have to eat some concrete before I make the final review, and I can say for sure, yeah, this is a proper product right here. And this thing is durable as nails, and it just withstands the elements. Yeah, I love BBSuperfly. And I doubt I will ever dislike them unless they change, but I doubt it. Yeah. I mean, back to the whole flippability thing, there's just not anything I can't do with this thing. On top of that, it's just very consistent. A lot of the older knives that had looser tolerances, it was a bit less consistent to be able to get moves down over and over again. I mean, when it comes to this, it just does it. obviously you have to have the skill to flip this to its maximum potential. And I don't even have the skill that a lot of people do. I feel like if you put this hands in probably some of the best flippers in the community, you would see some pretty ridiculously awesome things. I mean, this is just the kind of product that boundaries are pushed on. Like, I feel like Bally flipping has gotten better over the years, and it's advanced, even though like a decade ago it was really advanced from what it used to be years and years ago. But what keeps pushing the boundaries isn't just the people flipping the Bally's. It's the people who get products like this, start flipping them and realizing this thing is so good. Let me try doing this. And they may not even be thinking, oh, this Bally is so good that I can push it further. They just use it to their advantage. Like, a part of like racing is having a better car sometimes. I mean, you can be really skilled, but until you have that next advancement in technology, or you have just the better vehicle, you can't surpass certain boundaries. And when you have something like this, those boundaries become non-existent in some ways. And that's probably one of the coolest things about this company. They make a product that's so consistent, reliable, durable, and just indestructible in more than just a physical sense. It allows the boundaries of all that has existed to be pushed further. And that's why I'm proud to flip a BBSuperfly, even though I don't currently push boundaries. I'm not even like and I don't know what you want to call a professional flipper, but like, I'm not at the level that some of the absolutely cracked people are these days. Like, it's just incredible how far the boundaries on balisongs have been pushed, like, in general. And when you have such a finely tuned machine like this, it opens the doors to so much more. And I know for a fact that they're going to keep pushing products like these further and further, and they're just going to keep pushing the boundaries on that until, like, boundaries on CNC machining gets better and better, and they can make tolerances even tighter for even cheaper. It's just, I've said it's just so many times, but there's not any other word to follow. There's not any words to put before the words I speak about this thing. It's just incredible. Sound is another thing. I haven't lubed this thing in a little while. I like to use the red grease, the slide grease I've talked about in the past, and it works great on this thing. It gives it a really, really clicky sound. This thing has a lot of tap. I'm sorry, not tap. Very wrong word. Has a lot of it just has a good sound. I was gonna say, what's the word? Bounce, I think that's what it was. It's a little bouncy, but it's not too bouncy. It's functionally bouncy. It's functionally bouncy enough in the sense that it gives you dopamine to keep flipping. But if you lube this thing up, which I can't do at this moment because I'm filming this video. Actually, I'll grab my slide grease real quick. All right. Gonna put a little on this side. Rub it in a little bit, and I'm gonna flip it over. Put it on my leg so it doesn't get on my seat. All right, and now that the lubricant is on there, I'm just gonna work it in. I will say that a part of owning a balisong is lubing it consistently and deliberately all the time if you want the best feel and performance from it. I mean, it'll flip really well even if you don't lubricate it, but it's going to run a lot better if you lubricate it pretty frequently. You know, maybe the next advancement should be an oil pump located inside the blade that whenever you flip it, it creates enough kinetic energy to push oil through fittings and inside the pivots. You know, wouldn't that just be incredible? Sarcasm aside, just oil your Bally regularly and it will treat you a lot better. And I have oil on my fingers now. How fantastic. But Also, this is a really easy knife to wipe off as well. Like, it doesn't, there's a lot of ballies that whenever you lubricate them, they're really hard to wipe up. But as long, and the other thing is that, like, the reason you keep getting, like, you'll get like black liquid come out after you lubricate your bally is that it's all the, like, the worn down metal that accumulated since the last lubrication. And the more you lubricate it, the more it pushes all that grime out, and the less that grime has time to act like sandpaper for your pivots and wear it down faster. Yet again, you could probably get hardware pretty easily for these things, given how insistently workable this company is. But yeah, I'd say I've covered pretty much everything ground basis wise for this video. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and do yourself a favor and go buy one of these, please. I'd love to see videos of people flipping these more and more, because they are great tools. That being said, I'm out.